Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to my honorable panels. So for today, I would like to present the project Sarjana Muda 1, which is PSM 1. So for this, my PSM is entitled Learning Human Sense with Augmented Reality for Dyslexia. So my name is Muhammad Anas bin Adnan. So for my supervisor is technologist Dr. Farhan bin Mohamed. So here I'm include the profiles. So for the further reference can be made. So I will go through to the introductions. So dyslexia is a learning disability that make them difficult to read, write, and spell. Dyslexics tend to look at words on the printed paper in a running order, which can make reading challenging. There are a few fonts that dyslexics can read, such as Open Dyslexics, Arial, and Comic Sans. Font that has been selected need to be less crowded. Size of the font also can give an impact to dyslexics. 1.5 spacing between the letter will increase the speed of reading for dyslexia. Extra large letter spacing will be more effective. Gray font are the most frequently used for font color for dyslexia. On my right side, there will be the dyslexic fonts. On my left side will be the dyslexia C words in a running order. For problem background, the aim are to use the augmented reality technology to construct an interactive learning of a human sense for dyslexia. Usually, dyslexic learning human sense through a visual in the books. Books are written for regular students. This application will develop an interactive application to visualize the human sense. This application will be easier for them to relate about human sense in their real life. This application is a mobile-based application. Move to the project aim. The aim of the project is to develop learning of a human sense for dyslexia with augmented reality. For the objective of this project, will have three of it. First objective is to create an augmented reality marker-based application that teach user the fundamentals of human sense. The second objective is to develop a learning of a human sense for dyslexia based on the design. For the third objective is to evaluate the functioning and usability of an augmented reality application as an interactive learning process for dyslexics who are learning about the human sense. For the project scope, the main purpose of the project is to develop an application that will teach dyslexics about the human sense. Human sense will be shown in the environment of the smartphones. Information will be shown as a visual and audio. Quiz to test their understanding about the human sense. The purpose of the project is to develop an smartphone application that allow user to learn about the human sense in an interactive approach utilizing augmented reality technology. This program was developed to meet the needs of dyslexic peoples. Okay, we move to the second part of the presentations, which is the literature review. So for this part is a history of augmented reality. The augmented reality started to develop in 1968 and fully been developed in 2017. This is the evolution of the augmented reality. The augmented reality is where a real environment and virtual environment being merged in one source. So this is the difference of the VR and AR. So the user for the virtual reality, the user will not aware of the real world, while for the augmented reality, the user will aware of the real world. And then for visual reality, the user cannot interact with the real world and virtual world in a real time. While for the augmented reality, the user can interact with the real and virtual world in the real time. Real and virtual content will not interact with each other in the real world for the virtual reality, while for the augmented reality, the real and virtual content interact with each other in the real time. So for the virtual reality, use the head-mounted display or handheld controller to for the device to use. For augmented reality, mobile phone and headset being used. Augmented reality technology consists of four stage, which is first is sensory and camera. Second is processing. Third is handheld display, and fourth is the project display. For sensory and camera equipped gadgets are expected to scan their surrounding, and a device will use this data to locate the actual object to construct a 3D representation, according to Charles in 2003. In the second stage, which is a processing stage, this device is required a significant amount of the computer processing power to perform effectively. So for the third is a handheld display. So if the handheld display hang over the marker, the virtual content will emerge automatically. For the project display, according to the schematic and Hollerer in 2016, projector may produce spatial augmented reality and projection bounce off the surface of the actual object, allowing people to see spatial expanded world. For augmented reality tracking technique, there are five stage, which is the first will be find for a markers. Marker is converted to the binary image. And then for the second stage is to locate the marker position and orientation relative to camera. And then for the third stage is to identifying the markers. And for fourth stage is to align the 3D object with the marker using matrix. So for the final stage is superimpose the virtual 3D object on the top of the marker. For the AR interaction, there will be two type of interaction, which is the first is direct user interaction, and the second is indirect user interaction. For direct user interaction, direct user interaction is a natural state and requires physical interaction with the virtual element. For the indirect user interaction, there will be interaction between users who are not physical present in the virtual world at the same time. For the human sense, there will be five types of human sense, which is first touch, sight, taste, hearing, and smell. So this is the existing applications. The name of this application is My Skin Anatomy Applications. This application is a 3D model application that enables the user to see the skin in its entirety. The user allowing to rotate 360 degree, zoom in, and pan the camera around the 3D model. It also includes audio pronunciations for all anatomical words. Okay, we move to the next part, which is the methodology. So for this part, I'm using the waterfall SDLC. So for this is my project methodology. So for the phase one is the planning and analysis. In this phase, there are analyze tracking issue in AR, study augmented reality application for learning human sense for dyslexia. For the next phase is the phase two, which is design. In this phase, AR interface and user interaction in the learning human sense for dyslexia. For the phase three is the development and implementations. So in this part, it consists of the three things, which is AR marker for tracking, and next is the interaction and the audio. So next, the last is the content structure editor. So for this part, for the AR marker for tracking is where marker based tracking and also the image tracking. For the interactions and audio is the interaction functions and the audio implementations. So for the contents structure editor is where the editor tools. For the phase 4 is the integrations, which is in this phase have the integrate the learning human sense with AR for dyslexia with the interaction functions. For the phase 5 is the where is the evaluations. This is the component used in the development and implementations. So this part is consists of the two things, which is first is a software components, and the next is the hardware component. For the component software component, there are three things, which is first is Fourier, the second is Android SDK, and the last is the Unity. For the Fourier is where marker based used for the marker based tracking. For the Android SDK is where to render the applications in the mobile phone, and for the Unity is where for the rendering process in the computer. So for the hardware component, which is there are one device, which is a mobile phone. So that this is the my project overflow flowchart. So first, where it show the option list, which is in the option list there are two section, which is first is a learning sessions and the second is a quiz session. For the learning session, we will detect the image target and also will appear the human structure. So for the quiz session is where the students of dyslexia will answer the quiz, and the last part will show the correct answer. We move to the next part, which is the expected output. So this is my project menu interface, which is there are learning session button, quiz button, help button, credit button, and exit button. So in this part is where the augmented reality learning session will be. So this is also the AR quiz sessions. In conclusions, to create an augmented reality application based on markers to teach user the fundamentals of human sense. To implement, the next is to implement an augmented reality application for a handheld device based on the design. The last is to evaluate the functionality and usability of an augmented reality application as an interactive learning process for user to get a basic understanding of a human sense learning for dyslexia. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.